All right, hello, all my fellow goblins. It's Barnacle back again with another episode of Starfield, and we are almost level 8. So I just unloaded all of our bunch of stuff, and then I actually modified the ship a little.
Greetings, Captain.
Not much, but I changed the color. Actually, I guess I can show better if we do this, since it's dark out.
Need some work done? Okay, no problem.
Alright, so this is what I did. So I made it an extra level taller. So right here, well, I don't know, I guess I can't really select everything, but so right here, I think you can see my mouse, right? So right here I added 2 cargo bays, one on each side, and I kept the original one, which is down there. This is the loading ramp, and there's a cargo bay right behind it, and I added 2 more, so it gives us just about 1,000 cargo capacity. Kept the cockpit, kept the landing gear, kept the 2 engines. Then I added a better I added a better grav drive here, or a reactor. Better reactor, better grav drive. Then I added an extra another small engine right there. Right here. I added a second fuel tank. I upgraded the shield to the next one higher. This docking port is the same. Added this cowling. And then I added on the first floor a 3x1 hab, and I put the 2x1 hab right above it. And then this is a cowling that we already had. So I added those 2 cowlings, this cowling. I added a second ballistic gun and got rid of the missiles. And I kept the lasers. So that's where I am right now. I think my mobility is a little bit less than what it was. And then I painted it a little bit. Green and brown. Match my little goblin vibes. Not too much. Did spend like 20 grand though. Or maybe 30 grand. 30 grand maybe? I don't know. So, that's it. Let's go do our missions. We need to go to mast and talk to Hadrian. We could also go here. Not cleared for landing. Can't just go here? No.
You will be scanned as you enter the city. Please. Okay.
Go to residential district mission. for UC security.
Hey there.
Hi. How you doing?
Pioneer Tower.
I do hope you are enjoying your time in New Atlantis. There is simply no parallel to the food you will find here. One taste, and I'm sure you'll agree.
A most unfortunate incident, complicated by the fact that both parties were inebriated. While I wasn't privy to the entire argument, Hugo and Octavio had been dining here together for quite some time. So, it was surprising to see them at each other's throats. Well, the one who stayed with UC Security, Octavio, is a shorter man, handsome and refined. His favorite menu item is the Saint, I believe. The other, Hugo Fournier, is a tall, slender gentleman with a French accent. Excellent tipper, well-mannered, but a bit hot-tempered. Oh, yes, quite often. They had a usual table over in the far corner, with all the traditional accoutrements. Music, candles, wine. You see where I'm going with this. But this time the two had barely sat down before the argument got heated. Thankfully, security stepped in before anyone got hurt. I wasn't witness to any theft, and both men were wearing rings, if I recall correctly. I assume that would be the slender gentleman, Hugo Fournier. He was the one who excused himself after UC security arrived. I believe he lives in Athena Tower, although he may be checking out soon. But I would start there.
Enjoy the rest of your day.
Let's go there. Trunks. The
So you
Mercury
should
Tower.
collect. Nice ride.
Hey, thanks. I just painted that thing. Athena Tower.
Excuse me?
What do you know? Hugo's still drunk.
Oh, I can't believe that Octavio. That liar, that manipulator, that...
Dirty rotten scoundrel.
Thank you. He's a scoundrel and a fiend, and I was wrong to ever think otherwise. 5 years we were together, half a decade! And he threw it all away for that waiter. It was supposed to be a romantic dinner, our last before we pledged our lives to each other. But an hour before, I decided to do some cleaning to calm my nerves. I picked up a pair of pants he left on the floor, and out falls a napkin from the Dawn's Roost with a number written on the back. To think he had the audacity to schedule a date with me at the same restaurant? I was livid! Still, I went to the date and held it together just long enough for the waiter to serve us, then I went off! Not just dating, betrothed. And I have the engagement ring to prove it. He would say that, but as far as I'm concerned, it's my property. He gifted it to me when he proposed. It's not his to return. I'm glad you could see reason. This ring is going to fund a very long vacation across the settled systems. Maybe I'll even take pictures.
Mm-hmm. You gift it, it's no longer
Ever run into
yours.
spacers? Scumbags and scavengers.
I be killing spacers all the time, dear. There's some place around here I can sell stuff. Isn't there a mercantile or something? Embassy district. Look, we're at Mass too. Might as well go here.
Captain! Over here! The workup's in the cabinet's hands. They said they'll call for us once they've gotten to properly review it. But listen, I know I should have been more forthcoming about who I was earlier. So, in the interest of full disclosure, there's one more thing you ought to know before we head up there.
Great.
My relationship with the UC. It's more complicated than it might seem at first glance.
Your dad's a
The
general.
UC's actually the only reason I'm here in the first place. I am a clone of a man named Francois Sanon, one-time fleet admiral of the UC during the Colony War,
That's close.
former head of the UC Navy. They called him Ve Victus, woe to the defeated, in Old Earth Latin, a title he earned. The program I was a part of, it was the UC's attempt to create a new generation of military minds from one of their most respected tacticians. Secure the leadership of the UC military for generations to come. He would have happily told you he was one of the greats. Ultimately, though, it didn't matter. The man I was cloned from, my father, was executed for acts he committed during the war. The man caused a lot of death on both sides. Freestar Collective and UC. Military and civilians. And the things he did, well, they're a part of the reason the UC and Freestar Collective aren't really on great terms to this day. So my involvement, it could be another obstacle they throw at us up there. I just wanted you to be forewarned.
Good enough.
I really appreciate you saying that. I just thought you deserved to know, considering how much you've done already.
Yeah.
You know, while we've got a second, was there anything else we needed to discuss? I know you got dropped into the middle of this pretty fast. Or if you've got any last-minute business to attend to, now might be a good time. No telling how long the cabinet's gonna keep us waiting out here. It's hard to know exactly what might sway them. I'd just be honest about what you saw. A colony wiped out, and a lot of lives lost. Something we don't want anyone else to have to experience. Eye strain from the amount of reading I've got on the horizon if we succeed. The Terrormorph project never went anywhere. It couldn't. They're deadly creatures, but they aren't xenoweapons. The cabinet not opening the archives is probably a bigger risk than them handing over the files. That data itself isn't dangerous, which probably wouldn't be a bad point for us to bring up, should the opportunity arise. Then I guess it's just a matter of...
The cabinet meeting is about to begin. All parties, please proceed to the cabinet chambers.
Sounds like our cue. Here we go.
Mosey, mosey, mosey. How do you go into, like, walk mode, man? These people walk so slow.
Ah, Captain. Congratulations on joining the ranks of the Vanguard.
Cabinet members. Guess we go up here on this nice stage they built for us.
Ah, welcome. You must be the captain Hadrian mentioned in her report. You have our thanks for the risks you faced in securing this information.
Oh, I'm sure she did.
Yes, well, precisely how urgent is what I hope will determine here today. So now, we have two petitioners here making a surprising request. Access to the UC Xeno-Warfare Team's Terrormorph data, currently housed in the Armistice archives. A request which will require not just this body's agreement, but that of all three Armistice signatories. UC, Freestar Collective, and House Varun. Now, Captain, we've all read Hadrian's report on the subject, but we have yet to hear from you. Perhaps you could summarize for the Cabinet what it is you see as the goal of this endeavor.
We're still trying to figure out what we're facing. We can't make an informed decision without data.
That is something to consider. Though we also have to take into account the nature of the data you require.
Madam President, I object to the very premise of this meeting. While no one would argue that what happened on Tau Ceti was anything less than a tragedy, Terrormorph attacks are not some sudden new threat on the horizon. They've been happening for generations. To demand we hand over banned archival knowledge and possibly upset the balance of galactic diplomacy because of a single attack seems at best panic. And at worst, a power grab by the daughter of a bloodthirsty warmonger and her associates.
I would remind the chief diplomat who he's speaking to. If it's my father you're looking to address, you're welcome to consult a medium. I would also ask, how many deaths the Cabinet requires to act? 50? 50,000? Because if tragedies like Tau Ceti are just prelude to more attacks, I have no doubt you'll get the body count you require.
Let's keep this civil, shall we? And while there should be no doubt the preservation of life stands paramount among this body's duties, Chief Yassine has a point. Will a single attack, however troubling, be sufficient to convince the other factions to grant us access to what they no doubt consider weapon data? I don't think it's enough. Perhaps you can help, Captain. As the one who actually collected the sample in question, did this Terrormorph seem at all alarming to you?
That is worth considering. This attack took place on an almost completely uninhabited world. The casualties were minimal as a result. But if there's another attack, will we be so lucky?
Yes, a fine point, Admiral. So then, Captain, Given the discussion now and the information you've been privy to thus far, if you were in our position, would you grant the request made to open the archives?
It doesn't matter if it can be weaponized or not. The archives need to remain sealed for now. There's no reason to rush into a decision of this magnitude.
That? I hadn't thought of that, Captain.
An excellent point indeed. The other powers would likely be much more inclined to work with us knowing that. Chief Diplomat.
That point is a good one. Very well, you have my agreement. The galaxy is lucky you were here today, Captain.
You and I are in agreement, Chief Diplomat. So, if there are no other objections, I believe we can agree to give our full backing to make the request to... What was that?
Attention. An incident has occurred. Facility lockdown engaged.
Incident? Chief Sarkin, what's happening?
There's been an attack at the spaceport. Terrormorphs.
Terrormorphs. More attacks. Just as predicted.
Good God.
Damn it. They're here. Now.
There must be another explanation. The creatures evaded our scanner somehow.
There will be plenty of time for conjecture later. Chief Sarkin, order the evacuation of the spaceport and have your men contain the things, but do it discreetly. The last thing we need is a citywide panic.
Yes, ma'am.
Admiral Logan, the local barracks can provide support?
I'll make the order myself. Nearest anti-Xeno squad, though, is off-world. Going to take a while to bring them in.
Well then, we'll have to make do with the tools we've got. You two, we can't risk those things getting out of the spaceport. I want you both on the next train there. We'll let them know you're coming and that you've dealt with these things before. Now go show them how it's done.
We're on it, ma'am. Captain, I'm right behind you. Let's get down there.
These guys.
You!
Nuts.
The EM rifle, grab it! Now!
Why are they all fighting each other?
That's it.
We're trying to
now hit
help
him with
you.
everything you've got.
Please! I can't stop!
EM weapon. Is not that bullets. Physical EM.
Switching to a new target.
Got another one!
Can't go yet. Incapacitate the attackers. Are there more? There aren't any more. thought that's what we were doing.
I guess they ran away. Goodbye.
Definitely says this is where we need to go. Guess we can't yet. I don't understand. This one?
We were just trying to get them help, but they slipped their restraints.
Well, what's the problem then now? Assess the situation at that.
Thank you.
I guess that's what we need
for what you
do.
did. We didn't want to hurt them.
The way those people were acting, I've seen this before. They were under the Terrormorphs' influence, weren't they?
I don't know. They were down at the port and they just started screaming. We tried to restrain them, get them on the train to get them out of harm's way, but some of the other officers down there, we couldn't restrain them fast enough. They just started firing on us. People we knew. They went berserk.
Pheromonic projection. Some Terrormorphs, they can induce this fog. It affects everyone differently, but some people just lose control, turn against everyone around them, even if they don't want to. They're like a puppet. You kill the morph, you break the hold. But this means we're going to need to be real careful with our fire and keep that EM weapon at the ready. Let's do it.
That's unlocked. Please, do what you can to help them.
Okay. Let's hustle.
God, no time to waste, Captain. Stash the EM and pull some firepower. Let's move.
An evacuation order. Instruct. All citizens are required to proceed to the nearest shelter.
You might back up. Don't just stand there. Good.
Oh, God. Captain, you're going to be okay. It's not real. Whatever you're experiencing right now, it's not real. We have to put down that
Please. You have to help me.
Officer, are you and this woman experts?
Take whatever we can get right now.
We've got the remaining creatures locked down on the landing pad. barely holding our perimeter. They said you've done this before. Well, one fire team to spare and whatever supplies you need, but I can't risk them taking over any more of my men. Put those things down and do it fast. We'll hold them as best we can.
Speak to the fire team.
I don't stock up on junk.
Heard you might be looking for some backup. You say the word, we're out there on your 6.
You two have any experience with Terrormorphs before?
Only the brief they just gave on the way here, but we know how to handle pressure.
Surviving a full-on mental assault isn't the same as keeping your cool in a firefight. Might make you more liability than asset.
We're not UC security. You don't need to worry about us. Your call. We're on the line.
Plus, them bitches are trying to take my ship. Not far enough.
I'll handle this.
They're going to turn on you. Kill them. Kill them first.
The probability of your defeat is extremely high.
You've lost. You're never gonna win. They always win.
Which one is going to kill you?
It is unwise to remain hostile towards us. How can I be of service, Captain? Captain, hello. Let me know if I can be of assistance in the future.
Let's get these bitches. Let's go.
Nothing's gonna save you. Nothing's gonna save you. Bring it on.
Target down. Nice work, Captain.
It's over. Thank God. If these things reached the populated areas of the city, we would have had an absolute massacre on our hands.
Use up all my bullets, though. I'm really excited about all that business.
Guess they weren't kidding about you two. Universe put the right people in the right place.
Just remember who saved your tails.
Certainly doesn't feel like it.
I don't want to think what would have happened if you two hadn't been here.
Just glad we could rise to the occasion. Captain, we should report back to the President. Let her know the Terrormorphs have been dealt with. Take care of yourself, Sergeant.
Can I also...
How does something like this even happen? My people, they gave everything for us.
Guess not. Total like war zone down here now.
Attention. The spaceport has been secured. Safety precautions remain in place. Please wait for the...
Okay, that's it. Time to sell some of your junk.
Back to the President.
Thank you, gentlemen. Let your people all know how much we owe them today.
Yes, ma'am.
Ah, there you are. I believe we have some things we should discuss.
The loss of life, the damage to the spaceport. The costs of this attack are greater than I think we realize.
Captain, Hadrian, it would appear that the Cabinet owes you our thanks for what you did for the city today, as well as an apology.
You think?
Your concerns about the Terrormorphs, well, consider them validated.
Thank you, ma'am.
I also would believe that it's awfully coincidental that Hadrian was at a place where this Terrormorph attacked, and then Hadrian was also here when two more Terrormorphs attacked. My conspiracy theory mind says Hadrian is actually leading the Terrormorphs, especially since she was part of the Xeno Weapons Division. That's my conspiracy theory brain. Better late than never, I suppose. I'll take my credits. I'll take my gratitude in credits, real estate, or luxury goods.
Of course. I only wish we could have acted sooner.
I guess
Now,
I should start acting that way.
Today's events have only clarified our path forward in the eyes of the Cabinet. You will have our full support in collecting the Terrormorph data from the archives, as well as a subsequent investigation into the nature of these attacks. But to accomplish those goals, we're going to need the right people in the right places. As such, the Cabinet has authorized me to reinstate you, Hadrian, effective immediately, to your former rank of Major. As soon as we've got the data in hand, we want you investigating these attacks and how to stop them. Will you do this?
Yes. Yes, ma'am. I'd be honored.
Excellent. But as you've both made clear, for such an investigation to succeed, first, we're going to need someone to convince the Freestar Collective and House Varun to play ball. Someone who knows precisely the sorts of dangers the colonies and
like someone like
all
me?
The galaxy are facing right now. The Cabinet wants you, Captain, to be that representative.
Great. I'm just a Vanguard nobody.
The Cabinet wants progress, and wants it quickly. You're already far more familiar with the situation than any diplomat would be. There's also no diplomat alive that can claim they helped keep a cadre of Terrormorphs off the embassy doorsteps. The cabinet was unanimous. They want you. We see your atypical background as a strength, not a hindrance. The people you'll be dealing with, they're rather atypical themselves. In exchange, we're willing to fast-track your citizenship upon collection of the data. So, will you help us? I'm glad to hear it. Now, we, of course, won't be sending you in without the proper support. Deputy McIntyre in the Office of Interstellar Affairs will be your guide on gaining access to the archives. You should be able to find her in her office across the hall. And on behalf of the whole of the United Colonies, you have our thanks. You're dismissed.
Those creatures killed UC citizens.
I'm gonna go check in with
They're
Chief
not
Engineer
killed anymore.
Kulkarni. Start
We're
getting
on
a
the
plan
cutting edge
together
of
for that
technology
data.
here. It's an exciting place to be.
Friends like these, who needs enemies?
By the way, Captain, Sergeant Yumi was looking for you. Sounds like he's got more work.
I was already trying to talk to Sergeant Umi, but he was busy.
Chief Yassine, these orders. A Vanguard captain. You... Yes, sir. I'll make sure they get what they require. That must make you my Vanguard captain. Welcome to Interstellar Affairs. I'm Deputy Chief Diplomat McIntyre, Chief Yassine's second-in-command. I heard you were instrumental in protecting the city from the attack. You have my gratitude. I was also informed that you gave quite the presentation to the cabinet. Chief Yassine wants you to know the Interstellar Affairs Office is fully committed to this endeavor, accessing the Terrormorph data and beyond. We're going to do everything in our power to make sure you have the tools you need. And that means first getting you into the archives. You do know what the archives are, correct?
Not exactly.
Huh. All right. We'll start at the beginning. When the colony war ended, the UC and Freestar Collective came to the agreement some weapons needed to be off limits. Mechs, xenowarfare. So they gathered up all the relevant research materials and sealed that information away. Terrormorph data included, in the archives here in the city. Access to the archives is only granted in cases of dire emergency and requires a one-time use code from each of the 3 armistice signatories: UC, Freestar Collective, and House Varun. Now, the UC is already on board, so that means we'll need to convince 2 people, the ambassadors of the Freestar Collective and House Varun, to hand over their codes. Get them both and you'll have your data. But that's a lot easier said than done. Very funny. This is going to be hard enough already. Both ambassadors have reasons they won't, or can't, work with us. Now, I'll provide guidance on how we believe you can acquire each code, but ultimately, it'll be up to you to get them both to cooperate. And I do mean cooperate. Threats and violence are off the table here. Though that doesn't mean we can't get creative. But it does mean we need to get you up to speed on who you're dealing with. Who do you want to start with? Ambassador Radcliffe of Freestar or Ambassador Balmore of House Varun?
Freestar.
Ah, the good Ambassador Radcliffe. She's a veteran of the Colony War, and her only goal in life is to make ours miserable. Now, officially, our office is suggesting you try and negotiate with her. Use your experiences as a member of the military and with the threat we're facing to convince her to lend her support. And who knows? Maybe that'll work. Stranger things have happened. But my suspicion is we're going to have to rely on other tools to get her code. Certainly. See, good diplomacy is all about the careful application of pressure. We just need to find the squeeze. UC Intelligence has a recording device planted in the ambassador's living quarters, which we suspect you can use to your advantage. But getting caught trespassing is a quick way to land yourself in an embassy holding cell. So, if you are going to try and access the device, you're going to need to find a way in there without being seen. Now, we recovered some intel we believe should be able to help with that. But there's also a disgruntled staff member you might be able to pump for information. Maybe even convince to work with you. Name's Cameron Long. He's younger than Ratcliffe, bears less of a grudge towards the UC. He works closely with the ambassador, making him a promising source for information on the ins and outs of embassy life, and someone who very likely hates her guts. Yes, many. Don't steal anything. Don't get caught anywhere you're not supposed to. Absolutely do not harm anyone. If something goes wrong, we'll do our best to smooth things over, but I can't make any promises. All right. Here, your diplomatic ID. I'll give them a heads up you're on your way. Not likely to let you through the door otherwise. And take these. Chief Yassine wanted you to have some options on how to proceed in there.
7,800 credits for bribes. And I'm encumbered.
Yes, what?
Captain, Admiral Logan informed me of your part in halting the attacks. Whole damn city owes you. Now, what do you need? You can just call them SysDef. Everyone else does. They're the division responsible for combating the Crimson Fleet, fighting pirates. It's not a small job, keeping the galaxy's mercantile class safe from death and dismemberment, so they're constantly undermanned. They work out of the ship, the UC Vigilance, though the support request was a little vague on what your actual duties would be if you decided you want to lend a hand.
Okay, that's the other job we gotta do. Alright. Need to sell some shit. Wasn't there a UC building that had that, you know, the place where we return the egg? Or whatever, where we bought the egg? Where was that at? Lion Medical. You can get healed up here?
No, I'm not feeling that bad.
We have an appointment. We're seeing the doctor. That's it.
Maybe some other time. I have that report that's
I talked to your boss. She agreed that you need to take care of yourself. I know it's tough, honey, but a lot of times the earlier they get...
Missy District. Ryan Towers.
Just doesn't add up. Spaceport has
Sell stuff.
Please let me know if I'm... You won't find a larger array of options. I'm sure you'll be satisfied with the selection.
4,200 credits. Yeah, we can only sell apparel.
I'm glad you came in.
Me, not glad at all. Not glad at all.
You're out there a lot, right? In space. Just do us all a favor and never turn into one of those
CJ's. Athena Tower. Going back the way we came. Apollo.
Huh. Your file here just says Scoundrel followed by
You gotta love.
So how are you? Everything good?
Corporate directory. The Sanctum Universum Church. UC surplus. I think that's what we need. Well. I don't know. Let's see. Where can we go? Commercial district? Need to try to sell some stuff. Terror Brew. Here, maybe?
Please, if you experience any issue, welcome to UC District. Oh, well, certainly.
All right, you got 5,500 credits. Let's see. Do you have anything we want to buy? We already bought that. Basically. $109 damage. Oh, it's a shotgun. Rapid fire shotgun. Interesting. All right. Guess we'll keep that in case we need an EM weapon for some reason. Energy weapon. Guess we don't need that. Guess we don't really need that. Long barrel, reflex sight, suppressor, armor piercing rounds. 16 damage. 16 physical.
Back to it then.
Let's see if we... What do we have equipped? We have this equipped. $21.
Welcome to UC Distribute. Oh, well, sir.
Less. Okay. $38,000. I didn't even look at the price of that shit. Jeez. All right.
You're always welcome back, if you don't mind a bit of a wait.
All right, so where do we need to go? Speak to Deputy McIntyre. Didn't we just do that? Guess we could do this. Get this one out of the way.
Ah, if it isn't my favorite part-time security officer.
Also, the guy that saved you from the Terrormorphs, but I know that's two different chains.
Crime has slowed down since you started helping out, which is good for morale. Ah, perfect. Did you manage to get the ring back?
Nope.
Ugh. Really? I should have known this was a waste of time the moment I laid eyes on that drunk. That's on me. Without saying names, there are some people in this city who treat us like their personal security service. But you know how it goes. Sometimes we protect, other times we serve. Either way, I'm still going to pay you for your time. Here, take this. It's well deserved.
500. Guess we pick up another one.
After that business with the... I do. Thanks to you, the spaceport is up and running again, which is good for commerce, but also for smugglers. We've received a tip that someone has been bringing in contraband into New Atlantis through the spaceport, and we need to investigate. The whole department is in the process of recovering, myself included. If I'm being honest, I still have nightmares of my team turning on one another. Things can be replaced and wounds can be healed, but building back that trust in each other is going to take time. Luckily, we've built a good culture here, and we hired some new recruits who were inspired by what you did. I've got faith we'll survive this. Well,
Technology-wise, criminals have always been one step ahead. No different now than it was centuries ago. Smugglers often have a fancy shielding or scan jammers that allow them to evade the checks. But luckily, we can still use old-fashioned detective work to track these criminals down. Great. First, speak to one of the technicians over by landing pad B. Ask them if they've noticed any suspicious activity. Once you've gotten a lead, cross-reference their testimony with ship records over at Aegis. When you're done, report back to me with your findings.
Okay.
There should be a few working on the landing pads. If they don't know anything, move on to another. Right now, we don't have any good leads. But if anyone's seen anything, it will give us something to go on. Remember that job you did for Agent Plato? I finally had a reason to call in that favor he owes us. I asked him to pull the names and cargo of every potential smuggling ship that docked in the last month. He said he'll have a slate ready for you to examine. See you later, Captain.
All right, well, I guess this is a good place to stop. If you guys are enjoying the series, why not give it a thumbs up? If you're new to my channel, consider subscribing.
Security in New Atlantis begins with you. Please report any suspicious activity.
They need some mechs. But yeah, so I'm going to go ahead and leave it here. And I will see you guys in the next episode. And we will finish doing what we're doing. See you next time.